Greetings and salutations, Wastelanders and Wanderers. My name is Oskapt. Behind me is the legendary Grafton monster, and he is mad at me because I lured him over so that I could talk to you guys about the CFC. A number of you have been concerned and questioning whether or not the latest perk card changes have nerfed the CFC. In fact, I even saw somebody say, oh yeah, it's terrible now. It is not terrible. It is better than ever. And, well, I'm gonna make this video to show you exactly how that is. First of all, let's talk to this guy. That was a rather short conversation. The advantage of the CFC is that you can just kill things from across the map. You can see when ghouls attacked my workshop, I made short work of them. You guys know that I am a huge fan of the CFC, and there's nothing I can say that I haven't already said about just how badass this thing is. So I'm just gonna go to a bunch of different places, and I'm gonna kill a bunch of things, and I will then show you my current loadout and build so that you too can have fun. Switch up to the head, switch up to the head. It's basically 2 or 3 shots per enemy, with the second round triggering the damage boost from the perk cards. And if you look down in the bottom right, you can see that I have adrenaline running. So I'm now up to my max number of kills to get the biggest boost off of adrenaline. And that makes it even easier to just roll through. Obviously, the closer the range, the better it is. But you basically get room clearing tactics like a bunch of Navy SEALs. I mean, you can just roll through, shoot, and like just keep moving room to room until there's nothing there anymore. Where's this guy at? Done. So let's go find somewhere else. How about White Spring Golf Club? Yeah, it looks pretty terrible, right? I mean, who would want to use this weapon? The glowing one took a few more hits, but they're pretty durable. All right, now it's gonna be fun. Oh my God. I should totally just get rid of this thing. I think I should switch out to like a super sledge or honestly anything, because this weapon sucks. And it's gonna be like that. No matter where you go, no matter what you're killing, you will just slay yourself. If you're blowing up cars. The cars at White Spring give you an excellent way to measure the accuracy and range of the CFC. So you got 2 there, that's not very far away, that was pretty easy. But you got more cars up here. Same damage. So I was getting 39, oh my God, I killed, what is it, a snallygaster? Oh, it was a honey beast. Excellent VATS range, excellent damage. So getting 39, 39's not like crazy, you're not doing 600, but at that distance, at the rate of fire and with minimal recoil, the CFC is still an amazing weapon. Well, you get the idea. Like, we could go to pretty much any location. Let's talk about bigger ones, like a Mirelurk Queen. Is she here? Oh, good Lord. There she is. Woo! Oh, she's mad. All right, that was a little bit tougher than I expected, but still completely doable. And because of situations like that, where at close range, it doesn't put out the kind of damage that you might need for a larger enemy, I've been rocking a Tesla rifle as a secondary weapon. Yeah. That's my backup weapon. And I say backup, you're like, oh, well, it hits harder. Why isn't it your primary? Because it doesn't shoot as far and it eats through action points. But if you do get something that rolls up on you, or if you're in an event like Radiation Rumble, which just jumped off, the Tesla rifle works well with this build. So 2 super mutants, meanwhile a rad scorpion rolled up on me and it just, like, didn't even matter. If you have not seen our video on the awesome fishing camp, where you can just make this cool little fishing outpost, we didn't come up with this idea. There was another YouTuber that came up with it, but I improved on the design. So we have the video on that. Go check it out. This thing's great. If you have an extra camp slot, you can just build one of these and then plop it down everywhere that you might need to go to do your fishing. The weapon itself has changed from its original build. And if you don't actually know the original build, we will put a card up here right now that you can click on to go and see how you actually put this gun together. It is a plasma rifle, but it's a plasma rifle that has a flamer barrel and a pulse capacitor, and it matters what order you place those on. When you do it in the correct order, you get something that has incredible distance and 0 recoil. I am now running Furious with VATS enhanced and VATS optimized and conductors. For conductors, critical hits restore 10 health and action points instantly and 100 more over 5 seconds for player and teammates within a 100-foot radius. The teammates part may or may not matter to you, but the idea here is that this is a weapon that is built for VATS. So you want increased VATS hit chance, reduced AP cost, and then the opportunity on critical hits to get your AP back. Whether or not you get critical hits is a function of your luck. If you have luck of 33 or higher, you will hit criticals every other shot. So doing everything that you can to get your luck up matters. You see, I have luck of 26. That's actually 15. That's in luck itself, along with every single piece of armor has luck on it. So that's 15 luck in special, another 10 luck from my armor. But then if I top that off with some awesome opossum bacon, luck of 29, which isn't 33, but I'm also running 2 limit breakings on my armor. Each limit breaking reduces the luck required by 2 points. So I only need luck of 29 to get criticals every other shot with this weapon. Other things that I use are, of course, being well tuned, along with Poached Angler, which will give you an AP boost and even more if you're a carnivore. Cooked softshell meat increases your AP, so if you don't have any Poached Angler, that's another option. Company tea increases AP regen. So all of these things stack to give you a bunch of AP boosts that allow you to really maximize what this weapon can do. And what you're looking for is distance, the speed at which your AP regenerates, and how frequently you can get critical hits. So what you saw earlier, that was unbuffed. Now that I've eaten some of those buffs, we can go off and we can see just how much better it performs. Because this is a plasma-based weapon, its rounds will follow a target in VATS. So if you've got somebody that's, for example, up there, and they move, or they move behind cover after you shoot at them, the rounds will follow them. Now pay attention to what's happening with my armor. Notice that I'm just standing still. And they're all dead. If you want to maximize the benefit of this, and I haven't even gotten to the loadout, the actual perk cards yet, consider, in addition to luck, things like tankies. Tankies will allow you to literally just sit there and tank damage. I have it on 1, 2, 3 pieces of armor, so when I'm standing still, every 20 seconds, I have plus 600 damage resistance. So I can just stand there and let them shoot me, and it just totally doesn't bother me. I'm also using Thorn armor, so any melee attackers take bleed damage, which is also pretty amazing. So let's look at the perk cards. I have made modifications with the latest changes to the perk cards. So this is a strength heavy build, mostly so that I can get reductions in the weight of things. Actually, I don't know why I have bear arms in here. I should totally take that out and replace that with something else. It might just be that I didn't have anything else to put in there, because I've already got pack rat in there. We'll just stick it back in there. I'll figure that out later. If you know anything about me, if you've watched me in any of the live streams, you know that I am constantly dealing with being over encumbered. So I went with higher strength and then various cards to reduce the weight of everything. Under perception, your weapons have 2% increased damage per AP cost. The CFC doesn't have a very high AP cost of 9, but that's an additional 18% damage. Small guns ignore 36% armor, have a 9% chance to stagger. Great, I'll take it. Plus 75% range damage when attacking the torso. I still tend to do headshots, but if I remember to shoot the torso, I can actually get even more damage out of the gun. Movement speed bonus is also applied to your reload speed. Green thumb because I love to collect things, so I'm just gonna keep that in there, and Ollie, you can tell me that it sucks and various other things, but you know, whatever, it's gonna stay. And concentrated fire for an additional 3% damage per shot does not actually really matter for the extra damage, but I do get higher accuracy in VATS. Under endurance, nothing here really applies to AP with the exception of Thirst Quencher. So increased max AP based on endurance while not diseased. So this is the highest I was willing to bring my endurance up, and I get more AP as a result. Charisma, whatever. Strange in numbers to keep mutation effects as high as possible. That allows me to get carnivore boosts to get things like smoked Mirelurk fillets for a carry weight of 75, cooked softshell meat or poached angler for higher AP boosts, and then tenderizer because why not? I wish that I could get intelligence up higher, just so that I could get more XP, but there aren't a lot of intelligence cards that justify having an intelligence of 15. I don't even have cards to fill intelligence of 11, so I end up doing stuff like first aid, which I think is a crap card, but I had the points, so I'd rather run something than nothing. Same thing, stim packs and Radaway heal 60% faster, don't really care. What I do care about is the changes to Science, Science Master, and Science Expert. So now Science, increased energy damage based on your intelligence. Pyrotechnician, increased fire damage based on your intelligence. And Cryologist, because why the hell not? Nothing that I'm running currently uses cryo damage, but again, there's a dearth of cards in intelligence that you can use. And then energy weapon ammo weighs 90% less. Technically, the CFC is using a flamer barrel, but I think the pulse capacitor overrides that, and it doesn't actually count as doing flame damage. So this doesn't help, but I could certainly switch out to like a holy fire or something like that if I wanted to carry that. Because we are an AP VATS build, we want everything that we can get related to AP and VATS. So Action Boy for faster AP regeneration. And we are also utilizing the onslaught mechanic. So I have Gunslinger Master because that gets me onslaught stacks that build up over time. And most kills with the CFC happen within the first 2 shots. So I'm generally running around 25 to 30 onslaught stacks all the time. And then, that might, go from 30 down to 28, but then it goes back up again. The exceptions are when I need to unload on something like the Mirelurk Queen, at which point it's far better if I'm gonna go full auto to switch out to something like a Gatling Plasma or the Tesla rifle. Everything else here is more about getting more onslaught stacks. I don't really care about the plus 1% ranged weak spot damage because that is so feeble that I just don't care. Reload speed, okay, whatever. So I get 30%, well actually, hold on a second, let's think about that. It's not 1% ranged weak spot damage, it's 1% ranged weak spot damage per onslaught stack. So if I'm running 30 stacks, that's actually 30% ranged weak spot damage. Maybe I shouldn't talk smack about that, because that doesn't suck. Same thing, 30% faster reload speed if I'm at full stacks. Plus 5% ranged damage to close enemies per onslaught stack. So at 30 stacks, you're talking 150% damage to a close enemy. But if I have to go full auto, that's gonna go down to 0. And then I'm still like being sneaky. This one is underrated. VATS swaps targets on kill with 30% damage to your next target. I only have 1 star in here, but this card, VATS will swap targets on kill with 90% damage on up to 3 targets. What is not obvious here is that it doesn't just swap once. It will continuously swap targets until you run out of targets. And it didn't used to do that. It used to just swap once for 1 star, twice for 2 stars, 3 times for 3 stars, but now it'll just swap. Like, I only get 30% damage to my next target because I only have 1 star, but I don't care. The reason I have this is so that it swaps targets. Now, that might be a mistake and Bethesda might come back and change it back to what it was, but right now this card is sick. In luck, we've got all sorts of stuff related to VATS and action points and critical kill hit meter nonsense. So any kill in VATS has a 35% chance to restore all action points. Great, I'll take it. Any kill in VATS has a 10% chance to refill your crit meter. I'll take it. Ricochet. I love Ricochet. I always run high luck because I'm running lots of VATS stuff, and so therefore there's a chance to deflect ranged attacks. And I love nothing more than when somebody shoots me and then they die. Actually, there are some things I love more than that, but it's still really cool. 4-leaf clover, misses and VATS now contribute to the critical meter based on your luck. When I fire the CFC, and in fact, I do this with every weapon that I fire in VATS, I hold down the critical button. I never pay attention to the critical meter. If I'm getting crits every other shot, or every 2 shots even, if my luck's not high enough because my bacon ran out, I don't want to have to think, oh, I'll press the triangle button, or whatever it is for Xbox, the Y button, or on PC, I don't even know. I don't want to have to think about that. So I just always hold that button down. And the result is that you see me sometimes jump into the air. Well, that just means I didn't get a critical that time. But for the most part, I do. Let's go kill something else just to prove a point. Where can we find a bunch of enemies? How about Managa? All right, here I'm holding down the critical button, and the fact that I'm not jumping shows you that, like, I'm getting the crits every other shot, like I said I wanted. So the torso thing I'm not 100% sold on. It takes more shots in the torso, even with the boost in damage, than it does if I do headshots. So finishing out what we've got in luck. Misses and VATS now contribute to your critical meter based on your luck. Just in case my critical meter wasn't already at 100% shot by shot, if I happen to miss in VATS, it just puts it back into my crit meter, so I have an even greater chance of getting crits, if not every other shot, maybe even every shot. Class Freak, some people don't run it. I think it's important to reduce the negative effects of my mutations because I don't like having to remember to take serums all the time. Critical Savvy, critical hits now only consume 55% of your critical meter, which makes it a lot easier to refill that thing to get those every other shot crits. And then Junk Shield, which contributes to damage resistance, allowing me to also just sit there and tank damage. Finally, let me just show you the legendary perks. I run a 4-star Master Infiltrator because I can't be bothered with picking and whatever locks and terminals and things like that. Outside of that, I have fully maxed out Endurance, Luck, Intelligence, Agility, and Strength. And I know that for many of you that aren't yet at a level that allows you to do this, you're gonna have to modify the build somewhat. Just do the best you can with what you have and work on getting to this point. Running legendary perk cards that give you special stat boosts cannot be overstated. This can give you, I mean, just right here, I've got 25 more points that I can use in special slots, and that really gives you the power to make good builds. Well, there you have it, boys and girls, the latest build for the CFC. This weapon is still amazing. It's going to continue to be amazing. If you don't already use it, you are missing out. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Oskapt, one half of Gamer Aviator. And until next time, stay safe out there, Vault Dwellers.
In the heart of West Virginia, where the shadows creep and sway, lies a land of rusted dreams where the brave dare not stray. Appalachia, oh, it's a treacherous ride, with dangers untold and nowhere to